bring in now Mike Eruzione. He's the captain of the 1980 Miracle on Ice U.S. hockey team. Mike, you may have been listening to Christina and our conversation talking about one of the comments that was made was that the Olympian had mixed emotions representing the United States. Your reaction to that?
I just don't get it. Look, everybody's got the right for their opinion and what they have to say, but the Olympic Games is not the forum for that. The Olympic Games is about representing your country. Look, I've said this, and I'm old school. I've said many times, other than being a police officer, a firefighter, somebody in the military who protects our country, there's no greater feeling than putting on a USA jersey. You're not playing for Boston or Chicago, you're playing for your country. And take great pride in that. You've got an issue with the country, the Olympic Games is not, your soapbox to talk about it. If you're a skier, go ski. You're a hockey player, go play hockey. You can talk about, the country, at home or on one of your Instagram pages or something like that. You're representing the United States of America. Take great pride in that. We live in the greatest country in the world. Not every country's, going to have all the greatest issues, the rightest issues, and there's always going to be, something to complain about. But this is not the place to do it. Put on that USA jersey, take great pride in representing your country. Hopefully win a gold medal and stand on that podium. But
yeah. Mike, what do you think?
Get into the other stuff is ridiculous.
I agree. What do you think has changed? I mean, looking back when you wore the jersey and you represented the United States of America so proudly so, and everyone could relive those moments on that Netflix documentary out.
Right.
What has changed in 40 plus years now that you have
social media?
What is it?
Social media. Now you have an audience. You never had that before. There was no Twitter or Facebook or anything like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. I get that. But again, the Olympic Games is not the platform for you to discuss your policies and your issues. You're training to be an Olympic athlete. You've trained hard. You've had a lot of people help you get to where you've gotten to. And just go out there and do what you're there for, and that is to represent your country and compete. And when the games are over, if you want to go on your website and talk about what's wrong with the country, then feel free to do that. But I don't think the Olympic Games is the place for it.
Yeah, it just makes me think even something as basic as reporting, if I'm in the field and I stop an NYPD officer, let's say, and I'll try to get a comment for the NYPD, that he or she cannot speak out for the entire police department while they're in a uniform, right? And it's kind of the same thing. You're wearing the USA. Let's show some pride. Let's show some respect. And of course, Hess, the man we're speaking about, has his supporters, surprisingly or not. That includes the Washington Post. And they said this. Their headline reads, U.S. Olympic athletes expressing their views is as American as it gets. What are your thoughts there?
Well, again, that's not the place for it. You're there to compete as an athlete. You're not there to discuss politics in this country. You can do that after the games are over.
Yeah.
Go sit with the Washington Post or anybody else and talk about it. But again, I don't think your forum and your soapbox should be while you're getting ready to compete in the Olympic Games. I just disagree with it. I respect your opinion and what you have to say. I just don't think the Olympic Games is the place for it.
Yeah, I can't imagine everything was great in 1980 and everyone thought the same way and they didn't think anything was wrong with the country. Yet again, you showed great respect for this nation, and many were able to do that, by the way. There are others that are speaking wonderfully about the United States, but obviously not the same here. I have a little time left with you, if I can. I want to ask you about Lindsey Vonn. Of course, her inspirational comeback story. I know, look at this. Not a triumphant ending that all of us were hoping for. She suffered a horrific crash, if you saw it, during her first Olympic run, which required surgery. This is after attempting to power through a torn ACL, which severely compromised her mobility. So you'd think she'd hang it up. She didn't. But just for you as a former athlete who dealt with your fair share of bumps and bruises, if you will, in a sport as physical as hockey, what can you say about Lindsey Vonn?
Just the fact, what she did to get there. She tore the knee up, training, getting ready to go there. And yet she went out there and tried to ski. I think just a testament to her, attitude, her love for the sport, her commitment. That's an Olympian. That's a perfect example of why our athletes are out there. And she tried something that hurt, and you feel terrible.